to Farming Simulator 19. We are here to continue on with the game we were last at here. Okay, we have... Yes. We just unloaded oats, and we are going to end up plowing a bunch of fields so we can get ready to seed and cultivate and everything else. Oh yes, and we were also going to flatten out and smooth out some stuff here before we go. This slope here is a little steep and rough, especially for the fields that we're going to cultivate there. Or, well, plow and then cultivate and probably seed. Now, we do have some straw. Now, we have a baler, so we can bale it and stack up the bales, but we don't. Oh, yeah, we can stack the bales, or we can go buy just a loose, like a loading wagon, and load it up loose. What shall we do? Shall we work with bales? To work with bales, I'll need to go buy a trailer or a flat deck. If we do loose, I just gotta buy a loading wagon. Now, if we do loose, I can store it in the grain bin. Otherwise, back up here. Yeah, otherwise we can, just stack bales somewhere, but we haven't really picked a spot for stacking bales. So that's what we'll have to determine. Are we going to stack bales? I think I know where I'm going to stack the bales, if we do that. Otherwise, we'll just park that there. Okay, so what are we going to do first? I know. Wait. Get out. We'll go over here. Get in this one. We'll back this guy up. We will... Now, I have that plow, but I prefer a different plow, so I want to take this to go get sold. There's a modded plow, or plow mod that I prefer compared to this. Put that up. The nice thing is we're kind of close to the farm. Now, since I don't own the fields and stuff, that's kind of the thing about like a single player. When if you have crop destruction on, you run over somebody else's field, like the computer AI's field, it doesn't do anything. So it's like, man. So, oh wait, yeah, it was down below. Okay. For anybody just joining, I am actually lower that, detach it. There we are. I'm using a steering wheel. The Logitech's PlayStation model 920, I think. I also have the Logitech gear shifter that goes with it, as well as the Farming Simulator side control panel. I played for many hours with keyboard and mouse, or using an Xbox controller. I can't stand keyboard and mouse for this game. But controller was pretty good, but it can't beat like my little farming setup, because I'm used to actually literally driving. I drove real life tractors and swathers and I've cultivated, I've plowed, I've done all baled, I've stacked bales. I did that all in real life. I actually miss it, but it was my parents' farm. They sold it. I could not afford to take it over. I would have had to try to buy it off of them, and I couldn't afford to buy it off of them. So, this is my closest thing. So we want a plow. That's the plow that I just had. Don't get me wrong, it's a good plow. But I prefer this subsoiler. I really love it. It's because it's square and 6 meters wide. We can always change the design of it. Make it a John Deere color. What I've done before was this. Make it a John Deere color. See, neat. But I've always kind of liked. Well, it's not really that. It's Echo Gray. What is silver? Red and silver. That's not quite the look of steel. That's too gray. Metal. Oh, that one's a little bit better. Since you're digging in the ground, anything that you have for like paint wears off. Now, of course, we could have it painted so you can tell when we repair it, we repaint it, but let's just stick with the black and red. Yeah. So, I think for right now, we will bale up and we will stack what we have there, but we'll get this. Kind of cheating there. There we go. Okay, hold it up. That's why I also like this thing. It holds up nice. So now that we got this, we're down to 55. Last episode, did I take a loan out? Yes, I took out a $100,000 loan. Oh yeah, that was to buy the side. So let's use a little bit here to smooth out some stuff. See, like there's a chunk right there. Okay. Pop, stop that. We'll go to landscaping. Spin around a little bit. Now, I'll do my mode. S2. What's my S2? Like this. There it is. So we want to smooth. I'll raise up a little bit in spots and lower it in others. Put it out. Make it a little bit flatter. Well, not like flat, but smoothed out so that it less of bumps. More of a nice, easy slope. Oh wait, something I forgot to turn on. There it is. Extended placeable, turn those off. That's why it wasn't working right. There we go. There, that's smoothed out a lot better. Oh boy, touch it here. Yeah, that's smoothed out. Is there anywhere else I need to smooth out? Oh yeah, it's over here a little bit too. Yeah, that's smoothed out better. I think that's about it. For now, at least. Only cost a little bit. Yeah, the bale stacking, I was thinking of stacking bales just in there, so we'll do that. Here, since that's smoother, let's just check it out here. There, see, not as rough. Similar to this, just kind of coming up. Could smooth that a little tiny bit, but bother with that spot. See over here. Yeah, that's better. So let's plow this sucker up. It's a grass field that comes with the map. It's labeled as a field, but it's not actually a field. So if I lower, try plowing, see, nothing happens. So I gotta actually create the field, which I will start about here. So I'll just have to run up and down the field a little bit. What I'm gonna start though is with the outside. To about here. You don't have to do perfect squares or rectangles or circles or whatever. You can make the field however you like. See, I didn't make that side perfectly straight. Just went about as straight as I felt like. Lower down here. And it's going to go across. To about here. That works. This one I'll angle slightly. Oh, see, there's like a spot that I didn't quite get smoothed out, looks like. We'll back that up. Let's see here. See, it sloped up a little bit too high there so that it lifted up the thing. Okay. So we'll fix that. Smooth that out a little bit more there. Since we're having to do the create field, don't mind doing this out a little bit. And that should smooth that out. Costs a little bit of money, but that's okay. How is that? Oh, my tires are spinning. Block for that. I got a mod to help with that. Makes the power on all 4 tires instead of just 2. And lift up. Lift that up, move over just a slight amount. Spread it off just a little bit better. Not perfect, but good enough. Now it's just a matter of doing the inside. If I was to open the map, let's take a look here. Growth. You can kind of see I've missed little chunks, but that's because I'm making the field. I could have gone a little bit further. Maybe I'll fix that and go another swipe at the edge. Better. That worked. Let's go inside the cab. It's a little harder turning around when you aren't looking behind you. It's a nice relaxing day farm. And probably have a nice overlap. Let's pop back out. With computer games, sometimes it's easier to do like this, but in real life, you don't get to. You get to see the first-person tractor view. See? Oh, look, I missed a spot. And that actually does happen. When I was running tractors up and down the field with my dad, I actually used to spend all my time looking at the cultivator behind me, making sure that I was always getting, like, you know, overlap and stuff like that. And even if like a lot of times if you pick a destination far in front, like let's see if I pop open this so I can get my mouse. I'd say, like, if I went for this tree right there, I could drive straight to it. Sometimes you'd still miss a just tiny little patch behind you, and you have to go back and do it. But your cultivating or plowing would be straighter. If you're like me and stuff and looked at the plow or cultivator or seeder or something behind you, you would get your coverage without missing a spot, but you wouldn't be straight. By the halfway through the field, you're doing curved lines. So that field is done. Let's go over to the other field that we own. And then we will bale up the other one. Because I'm going to use this tractor with the baler. How far over? Let's do it from the inside corner over there. I'm here, roughly. Where's that on the field? Who knows, might need to over a little bit more, but just stick with this. Get our outline. You can see kind of why I like this plow. Well, it's a subsoiler. It's a mod somebody did for like a subsoiler combination with as a plow. Well, plow effects, but the whole point of a plow is to rip up the ground, loosen it up, so that you can run it over with like a cultivator or disker or something to break up those big chunks of dirt and smooth it out so that you can make a nice seed bed. This subsoiler definitely rips up the ground. So working as intended, ripping up the ground. Yeah, you're not supposed to seed into a plowed field just due to how rough or big chunks of dirt you get. So close to that river. Thank you. There's a few things we're probably going to have to start saving up for and buying since I'm not doing seasons this time around. I should be able to plant a crop. Now, since I have it on 5-speed, pretty much like I am playing seasons. Time's going faster than it should for what I've done, but that's kind of realistic. So, how realistic do we want to be? Just one play for fun. Some realism, some, gameplay. Now, I could always, instead of streaming live, record and edit and everything just so you can see things faster, but this I find very relaxing. Going up and down the field. Later on afterwards, I post from Twitch, I post everything up to YouTube. Now, with this farming, I did actually go around and actually edit everything before posting to YouTube, or I could just post live and you guys just skip ahead. Let's get a few laps around going this way. Also, yeah, you never back up in real life. You never back up machinery in a plow while it's still in the ground. Game aspect. Notice how slow I'm going uphill. Ooh, watch this. I am going to look this up in a second. I'm going to detach it. The neat thing with this plow. Now it looks backwards, right? Well, the neat thing is I can turn this thing around now and I can still plow with it. It's kind of designed so that you can attach extra equipment behind it. So like if you wanted to cultivate, like plow and cultivate all in one shot, you can hook your cultivator up afterwards, or a seeder or something. Now when I lower it, if you notice when I go uphill, I will beat. See, I'm way past 11. Oh, I've got to turn it back on because I disconnected it. My bad. There. Of course, this is not as realistic, but I can go faster and get things done. But it does the exact same thing. So, if looking at the equipment here before I continue, go back to my garage. Uses 180 horsepower and can go 17 kilometers per hour, 6 meters. But if you flip it in the reverse, which I just did, you can actually use pretty much almost like 100, 110 horsepower instead. So you can use it with a smaller tractor. It's just fun. That's game part. It's fun. Still get to enjoy going up and down the field cultivating, but yeah, get a little bit done a little bit faster. So what my plan for right now is, I think I'm just going to stream live here until we're done cultivating the fields for today. See, like now going backwards with the ground, you go slower compared to before. Now I should have enough room at the top and bottom of the field. So yeah, if we're gonna finish off this day, try to get as much done as we can at 5 times speed. I think when it gets close to like dark, I think that was like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I can't remember. It's been a while. I was playing seasons for a little bit. The time changes throughout the year. Like spring starts getting daylight out, something like 6:30. Summer was like 5:30. Gets dark later, and then winter it was like, oh yeah, it's like 6 o'clock and it's dark out. I'm like, what? Oh, that's cool. They actually did that pretty good. So for this, we'll just wait until it gets like dark. And then I will skip the nights because all I'm going to do is just like fast forward it. And then in the morning, you know, we get up. If we have animals by that time, we will, you know, take care of the animals, go out and do our, like, you know, whatever we happen to do the day for the field work, spraying, weeding, whatever. We'll do that. Did I turn the weeds off? I already forgot. Weeds are off. Do we want weeds on? Without seasons, basically in the entire day, in one game day kind of thing, we have to do our plowing if we need to, or cultivating. We have to do our seeding. We have to do our spraying. We have to do our fertilizing. And then the next day, we might get a little bit of that done, and then it's harvest time. And then once we're done harvesting, we have to cultivate, plow, everything, seed all over again, and the next day we harvest. Now I'm starting to think maybe I should have had seasons on. But whatever. If we want to make it kind of realistic, what we could do is harvest every other day. You know, do as much work one day, do as much work the next day, and then hopefully harvest. If we get to, like, you know, day 1, plow, cultivate, seed. Day 2, could actually, yeah, we could actually turn the crop growth down to normal or slow. We'll see. This one here is more of an experiment to see how well my map mods worked out that I did. How well it is for you guys watching. Whether I'm going too fast, going too slow, whether I should do seasons or not. I think we'll done in the future. For now, just put on this field. And should pull up baler. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't buy a flatbed truck. For anybody watching, what should I do? Bales and a flatbed truck, like trailer, or go with just loading wagon, get loose. If I go with the loading wagon, I'm pretty much going to stick with that the entire time until we probably get to the other farm, or just stick with loose then too. Yeah, it'll be cheaper if we go with the loading baler thing. Okay, put that down, attach it. Now I need a flatbed trailer and the baler. Okay, park there. Ugh. Sometimes backing up is annoying like that. There we are. I prefer this view because I can actually see it. This sad thing about the game, though, is I can't lean forward and put my head against the glass and look straight down, so I just make a guess how close I am. Okay. Fold. Should be unfolded. Oh yeah, I've got to do some fixing. Yeah, it's unfolded. Okay. That's my mower. Is that my tedder or windrower? Did I have a windrower? Oh, that is a windrower. Okay. Mower, windrower. Oh, I don't have the tedder. That's what I didn't have. Wrong one. I had the windrower, but not the tedder. So that's something I'm going to have to pick up, regardless if I'm doing loose or bales. That should leave that. I think I just got a tire on the right side. There we go. Yeah. Somewhat straighten out some of the roads there. Check that out. I think it's really the ends here I need to fix, don't I? Better. I think most of them are fine. First couple that I did. That's funny. Way it backs up the time. Good enough. been a while since I used that one there. Didn't quite like it as much as some of the other ones. The style that I grew up with, let's see if I can find it. Windrowers, here we are. Is this style, but smaller than this. So if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The one I had actually, I think was like 4 wheels. It was like that long. It does open up into a V like this, but it was only like 4 wheels, really. Yeah. I'd love to find a smaller one that's just like 4 wheels at most, maybe 5. Nah, just 4. Didn't have wheels, didn't have anything. It was a 3-point hitch thing. Just like the way that is. So back. I'll probably end up selling that one. It was wide enough to basically grab 2 rows and turn it into 1. The whole point of that, even though it does seems like, oh, you'd still run up and down the field twice, once to combine the rows and another one to bale it up. Well, the point of combining the rows is what it caused was each row to flip over so that the underside could be aired out. So that way you had a better drying on the swath if needed. That was for alfalfa hay, what we were doing. But if you're doing grain, of course, you're not doing that. You're just gonna make sure the rows are nice and neat, and then just do them up. So let's turn that on. We will lower it down. And we will start doing baling here. Slowly out comes a bale. Some of the modding I've done was I've actually changed the texture of the bales so that they look a little different when they come out. I'm trying to remember if I did that with straw now. I know I did that because I built some alfalfa hay bales. I think I left the default in-game ones the same, and made sure I did my alfalfa hay, alfalfa windrow. My naming, of course, is all that great in what I've done for changes, but it works. Yeah, this is where doing the square for baling doesn't work as well compared to like combine it. Because once you've done the end of the row, you have to back up or you have to do a loop around. Once I got a couple rows to do the loop around. think that's gonna be enough. Do I have enough room? Let's find out. Oh, just barely. Loop around. I'll get a better view over on this side. Do a lift up, which is what we're supposed to do. Just make one turnaround. Ends up being about 270 degrees. Okay, let's go back inside. Oh, wait, I forgot the lower. That's why I could go back up again. I went down a row and forgot the lower. I would just go down this one. There we go. Yeah, some people don't like this view, other people just love it. I bounce between both, depending on what I'm doing. Because there's a difference of your peripheral view and everything in real life compared to the game. But I do have to say they do a pretty darn good, amazing job of trying to get it pretty accurate. But still have to, be able to, build it as a game. But like having to use my mouse to do camera view turns like this side to side. Try to emulate real life there with that. I find so far when you start getting to the really, really big combines, I find it's a lot harder to actually have like a depth perception because I'm sitting back from a computer screen and then I have to try to figure out a flat image and what my depth perception is for where the table header is on the edge of a crop or something. But on the smaller ones, it's a little easier because you can actually see where the table head is a lot closer. The larger table heads, it gets harder. So I tend to do out of cab view for that. Same with like cultivating and plowing and stuff. I tend to do more out of cab. But when going up and down rows like this, I just love my kind of like first person view. my turn. How's the bales coming out the bat? Yeah, I really like the baler from the Straw Harvest add-on, since it has like an attachment that adds like wings to the back of the baler. I think I might have mentioned it in the last video, but yeah. Baler I grew up with was like a Heston baler, and it had the wings. So literally a slide bar, when it sensed the bale was coming out ready to fall, it would trigger the sensor, and the sensor would then activate the bar, and the bar would push it from one side to the other. So if the bar pushes it to the left, the bar would then sit on the left until the next bale would trigger it, and it would push it to the right or something like that. And then you could bale all the way if you need to, like, start baling a third bale. Now, if you baled the third bale and it triggered that bar, it wasn't going to trigger anything because sensors of like wings wouldn't allow it. So you dump your bales. Once it was finished dumping, then it could safely do that. It's typically, let's see, how's the height of that? The bales fall off of that. That might not be a bad height since it's tipped downwards, but still, bales have a tendency to actually break. It's the tines and twine and stuff like that. Like, it can sure hold a lot, but if you put so much stress on it, like bending it, pulling on it and stuff, it can still break it. And then the bale, we've had a couple where, don't know why, it was like, a case of the twine got stopped in the baler so that the bale came out with like, one or two rows only. And it was just like, oh man. So what we did was we would break off the last couple twines, pull the twine out, bring the baler over, and just pitchfork it into the baler so that it would re-bale it up. It's a bit of work, but once you fix the baler, get the twine tying again on there, so we did 6 rows. I know there's balers that do 8 rows, but our baler was a 6-row one. 5 or 6. But yeah, if like we could get away with 1 knot tying, but as soon as you go with 2 or 3 knot tying, then it's just the baler has an easy chance of breaking. Now this small field doesn't have very many bales, so I think I might just grab the tractor loader, and probably move these almost like one at a time thing. Not very realistic. Normally you load it onto a trailer and then drive the trailer over, dump them or unload them. What we did at my parents' farm was we had a 3-ton truck, kind of like a grain truck, dump truck, and the box was removable. So we'd unbolt the box after we're done with all the grain, and then load bales, haul them off the field, dump them, because you could lift up the back of the truck like a dump truck. This is a flat deck, and then you can just slide the bales off. So that is it. Good, clean enough for a game, anyways. So let's turn that off. I think that was the unload. Yes. Get 1 bale. The other one's not quite done. Hold that back up. Go. Oh, far enough. There we go. Let's park this. Now with stacking bales, since I've stacked so many in my life there, done a lot. I think still my dad did more because, well, I was a kid growing up. Wasn't until I was probably closer to 12 to 15, somewhere in there, is when I started stacking bales. Yeah, I've been driving machinery, driving trucks, driving whatever before I even had a driver's license. This is because that's what you did with farm life. Oh, I had a. How did I turn that mod back on again? I've got another mod that is or or again. Tool. I think it was my tool position mod. Okay. That was. Oh yeah, control numpad 0. There it is. Okay. So you can't exactly see it with this because of the whole front end. That's why I wish that somebody would make like a tractor where the arms would be there. Take like, the loader arms that are just attached and attach them this way so that you can actually see everything. That is the way I kind of grew up with the Versatile 150. I could then see level. I could see the arms go up and down. I could. Now it was a smaller tractor. The bales were actually pretty darn heavy for that. It's like one bale at a time, and it was still heavy. So I used this little mod just so I can see the height, because I can't see in front. I don't know how high that is or how level it is until I lifted it up. But I still prefer cab view. Yeah. It'd be awesome if someone could mod and make basically a reverse drive tractor have like a loader on the back. Oh, I lost it. Too much downhill slope on that. Didn't have enough degrees. Let's push it forward a little bit. That can also break a bale if you're not careful. Not perfect, but it will do for right now. Totally off on the bale. Close enough. I can't see the bale very well with this tractor. Well, I'm starting to collect straw for the horses that we can probably get. Well, the farm that I grew up on, the land was like really, really flat. Kind of lucked out on that. It's slower. I might need to smooth the road out, but slope is fine. There, it's better. Oop. Yeah, depth perception. Not so good. Yeah, the Versatile 150 had arms similar to that. However, I have the mod for, I think it was under front loaders. It was like this. Okay, let's look at this one. This one is designed to be for like 2 bales, square bale tongs. The loader thing I had was, this piece was a little bit longer, so it ran down like this a little bit, and then had some bale spikes coming out, like 4 or 5 of them, and then chop this part off, like get rid of the whole front parts, but you had like 4 hooks that literally would go down into the top of the bale, so that it would hold the bale against this part as well as, and then you just lift it up and stack it that way. And that was what I had for front loader for. So yeah, like how this looks, bale spikes when sticking out, or bale spikes like this, and just that little like half that top piece stuck out. So yeah, that's some of the. That's I hope I explained it kind of correctly, but yeah, it was like the top had like 4 hooks, and the bottom part had like a couple bale spikes. So you drove into the bale with the bale spikes, lowered the hooks into the bale, and then just lifted up, kind of like a big claw, just crunch, lift up. And of course, the nice thing with that was I did not have to tilt anything like that, because the arms, like, it would just lift straight up perfectly. And once lifted up, you just stuck it on, open the claws, and just back straight out. So you didn't have to tilt it up to keep it on. The claws held it in place. So I'd love to have an attachment like that for a front loader. And that, again, would go with the versatile 150 that we used. So built that one more. Or that. And something like that. See, that's starting to be a nice stack. I can probably fix that one. Way too far. Something like that. Too bad with Farming Simulator, you couldn't water your fields or something like that there. This more represents the dry land farming that there's a lot of farmers that do. My parents, we would actually have a ditcher, and we would basically dig ditches, which is great for you send water down it, and then you could flood irrigate the field by just opening up the side of the ditch kind of thing, and hold the water back with like a tarp. Well, the tarp basically was you had a 2x2 board that tarp goes on, and it literally, when you hold it up, it looked like it was like a flag sideways, not like, when you pull stand up and the flag sticks out like that. Well, the tarp, you laid it down and you put it into the ditch, and the water would push against it and stop and allow the water to go down the field to the side of the ditch that you break open, and then it would flood the field. Flood irrigation. And then when you want it to stop, you literally take a second tarp, put it down the ditch in front where the water is to stop a new section of water, allowing the kind of like behind the tarp to slowly drain away and empty out. And then when you want to move it, you can go back to that tarp once everything's all said and cleared and done, and pick it up and move it down, and you just keep swapping tarp, leapfrog, and tarps. My dad, doing it for years, had it down to a science. He knew roughly how long it would take the water to flood down. Sometimes, like, it'd be like, say if it was, I think, like 12, 13-hour run. Because the way it was all set up and designed, that there was some short runs and some longer runs. If it was the longer runs, I think it was like 12 to 15 hours, and then you go swap water. So it could end up like, middle of the night, 2 a.m. You'd get up, you'd go out, you would swap water. because or you'd go out and check, make sure to see if it got down to the end of the field. If it didn't, just go back to the house, go back to sleep, set your alarm for a couple more hours or 5 more hours or whatever it was needed, and go check it again or go change it. So lots of fun. Loved growing up at the farm. When I was a kid, of course, yeah, like, I don't like doing this. Oh, I don't want to do this. Ah, there goes the bale. Went too fast down the hill. Slight downside with using the steering wheel. Okay, angle that there like that. Let's back it up. There we go. Oop, trough. Oh. See, I've gotten that stacked 4 high. Well, my Versatile 150 with the large bales could only stack it 3 high. That was just because that's the highest the thing could reach. I'd have to say, let's see. Here, just 4. There we go. I have to say the bale dimensions on this are slightly off. Well, for like size, not like actual like ratio, like, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can explain that a little bit better. Let's go back over here. One of these bales. I'll just drive around it so you can actually see since I put that one there. I'd call this the face of the bale that basically it's the face side that I run into it with the tractor to pick it up and stuff. So when looking at it, here, do this. So that side's the face that I run into with the loader. When I pick it up, it would be about as tall as this is wide. So you take this measurement and that measurement and make them roughly equal. Maybe this a little tiny bit taller. Yeah, I'd have to say pretty much flip the dimensions. Make this the narrower part, make this the taller part. So it would go up this way higher. The length of it would be roughly the same as what you'd see here because it was pretty wide. And the width would actually be, the narrowest part would be this distance here. The height all the way around going up and down. The length of it is longer. So yeah, I'd probably end up taking the width that we have here and actually changing that to there. Ah, I go first person. Yeah, so then of course because the height of it was a little bit taller than the width of it, we'd only be able to stack like 3 high. If we had like flip the ratio like this, we probably could have squeezed the fourth layer on just due to the size of the versatile and how high the thing lifted up. Because whenever I stack these, it literally feels like I'm stacking them on their sides instead of string up, string down, which, like, the strings are at the top and bottom. That to me feels like I just stacked it on its side. But whatever. I hope you're enjoying me yakking away so far. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe. I will be eventually posting this here to YouTube once the live stream's done, which we're getting later in the day here. So might end up calling this, because it looks like I've been doing this for a little over an hour. So I think once I get the last, I think there's one more bale left right there. Yeah, probably call it a kind of like a night. And slower, I don't think I have it on right. Well, at the 5 times speed, we're not going to get everything done today. This isn't very much straw. So I think what we need to do is we need to at least get like probably 2 harvests off. And by harvest, I mean like probably we're going to do all 3 of my fields, like, once with oats. So we have a bunch of oats and a bunch of straw. Ooh, get up, get up. I don't have this on right. Yeah, do like all 3 fields with oats, so we can harvest the oats and get the straw, bale up the straw and stuff, or loose collect it, and then do one more harvest with alfalfa. Trying to decide if I need one with alfalfa hay or one. I should be able to do that. I think with the horse, I think I also had grass that I modded into it. So may need to do 3 crops. One full crop with alfalfa hay, tether it, then bale it as hay. Maybe one full rotation as just, not hay, like just like how you do with the original game, grass. I call it alfalfa windrow is what I put in. I may end up modding and trying to fix that so that I can actually call it alfalfa. You got alfalfa, and then there's alfalfa hay. Growing up, I never did anything with grass, so I might mod the horses and cows just to not use the grass at all. Because why would you hay you store as bales or store it better than? See, you'd only use the, I guess it would be like the alfalfa or the grass, whatever, if you want to ferment it to make like kind of like a silage bale. So I can see doing that. But whenever my parents baled something, if they baled the hay, it was already dried out as hay. Ugh, killing that pile. Yeah, I'm not stacking very well with this tractor. That's why I'd prefer if it was back like this. I could see better. Nose is blocking the way. Okay, well, at least I got that stacked up somewhat there. Ah, crash. Put that down. Okay, lower that down. Change my selection. There we are. And detach the arm. Leave everything attached. What was the power of my tractors? That was 261. That was 150. What's my cultivator? 100. Ah, so I can use it with this tractor if I wanted to. Yeah, I've got a 30 plow. But in this little farm, I don't have anything to repair yet. I don't have so hopefully this equipment will last for like at least the first harvest. So I need to plow that field. I also need to cultivate these. You can see it's already starting to get a little late in the game here. So at least let's at least get this one done. Call it a night, and I'll do another stream tomorrow or another day whenever I have a chance. Tomorrow, well, I'm hoping if I can, trying to get like a Dungeons and Dragons game going, like just all fun off, like no streaming or whatever. I can't afford to buy more cameras and buying setup. Like, there's no way I'd ever be like the stream critical role, but and what I'm hoping tomorrow is either D&D 5th edition, where I get to play, or do Pathfinder 1st edition. I know there's Pathfinder 2nd out, but I own a crap ton of books that I've invested in for Pathfinder 1st edition that I haven't really had a chance to use. I've used a little bit of it because I'm doing Pathfinder Society, stuff like that, other games. So it's always been fun. So I'm hoping to actually DM that one there, or GM. Pathfinder was always GM, but I got used to always calling it DM for Dungeon Master. But I hope to GM the Pathfinder 1E with the same group that I would be playing with. But we're all thinking of it. We're just trying to organize and figure out what day we can do it on. That's like the big thing, scheduling. We're hoping Saturday. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna finish up this field here and see. And if tomorrow I don't happen to GM anything or play anything, I'll probably hop on Farming Simulator and just start streaming. So if you like, subscribe, or want notification, then I think it's more like YouTube or whatever. But I still got to learn everything about Twitch streaming. If there's something for a Twitch notification that you guys want, hit that up, and you'll get a notification when I start streaming. And just hop in anytime. Well, for Farming Simulator, I also stream World of Warcraft, so that'll probably kick the same kind of notification. And if you're interested, you can watch the World of Warcraft or Nax raids. It's usually, I repeat the raids just because that way you guys can watch progression. I've got some older ones that I've done. Really wish I'd have gotten started sooner, but in the past like couple months, you can actually, I think it was from like February I started, you could actually see the progression change that we did when we started Nax. Really wish I got the earlier Nax one. Oh man, we walked in, first bolt, we wiped. It was awesome. I was like, yay, classic. We all had a riot. It was awesome. It took a bit. We figured it took literally, I think, the entire 3.5, 4 hours of raiding just to get to and down, I think, like one boss, maybe two. And now our progression is up to like 11 out of 15 in one night. Oh, turn lights on now. Get dark. So yeah, like we're getting 11 bosses down in that same amount of time. Last night was our best ever. That's where we got our 11 finally. We were always cut short. Like the best we were able to do was 10 in that time. We finally got 11 in one night. Come Monday, it's going to be the best time ever. Lots of wipes, lots of attempt trials. We're going to be kicking butt in Saffron, attempting to. We're probably, I'm hopeful of getting them down, but I think this week here is definitely going to be way more practice attempts, which will be awesome. It's what we need. So the next week or two, we're going to get like all of it down. So what I'm going to do is I am going to call it a night. I am actually just going to finish cultivating this field. And then I guess it'd be like tomorrow's game day when I get back to streaming. We will be, I guess, cultivating the other field and plowing up the field that we just baled. So looking at the fields, we're cultivating field 3. I guess next game day. Ooh, yeah. See, it needs plowing. We also need lime and everything else. So we will actually be working on cultivating and liming, getting all the field prep work done for seeding, and hopefully we get all the seeding done. And yeah, we'll start working on that tomorrow. I may need to, for game's sake, actually put this at 1 time speed, just to get the whatever we need to do because it's not season. So you need to do everything in one day. But I will do streams, and I will stream live pretty much until everything is all said and done for that one day. And as soon as it gets to, like, I guess it'd be like when we're done everything we need to do that day, I can then I'll fast forward the time at that point there to the next day. So like for like instance, like for today, if we had gotten all the plowing done, all the harvest, all the baling, all the stacking, stuff like that, all the plowing, all the cultivating, and get that and get that all done in one day, and seeding and everything. And if there's still daylight left, then well, I'll just fast forward time from that point. So like if it ends up being like we got everything done by like 1 in the afternoon for game time, well, then I'll just fast forward from that point. There's no point just sitting around doing anything. But once we start getting animals and everything else like that, it's just going to be ridiculous for how much stuff we need to get done in one day. So I'll just probably end up sticking that tomorrow on 1x speed, doing everything we can get done. And when it's time for we've got the animals done, when we've got all the seeding, plowing, everything done, and we're waiting for harvesting, then I'll just fast forward it, go to the next day, and do it all over again. We're gonna save some money. We may need to actually buy or try to save some money. We'll get some money from like the horses and sheep and stuff for hauling that all the way. And we will then save for another field and get more. And of course that'll add more harvest work, more plowing, cultivating, everything. But we'll make some more money. Maybe do a cash crop on that. So I'll probably buy that field number 1 that you see just over here. I'll buy it, turn it into a cash crop so that we can grow something and sell it. And then the other fields here, because that one field I just did not get enough bales off of. So I think I literally need to do 3 fields with oats or something like that. Unless I do like, if I do a cash crop, like wheat or barley, I can get straw for that. But I think I'll probably do something like soybeans or canola, which don't give straw. But you can sell the seeds and stuff, of course, for money, and then just plow it up and cultivate it up and just get seeded right away. Less work then if I don't have to deal with the straw, but the downside is I don't have to drop the horses. There's one thing I've yet to actually fix and mod, is actually I built straw bales that I put in the store. Now, I don't have a properly accurate price on them yet. So far, it's just like they're insanely cheap. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta fix that. It should be a little bit more expensive than that in order to compare to like the game price and stuff. But really, real life, they're extremely expensive per bale. For example, usually the price of like bales is something like, last time, I don't even know anymore what the actual today's prices are, but back when I was working on my parents' farm, it could be something like easily as like $50-$60 per ton. It was either a metric ton or a short ton, I can't remember which. So like one bale would be like 1,600 pounds. So it might be, it'd be less than like the 50-60 bucks. It could be like a $40 bale. The bales I've got, I think, are like 600, 650 in the game here, but they're still actually cheaper in ratio compared to everything else. So Still gotta fix that. So now that we're done cultivating that one field, just gonna park here, call it a day, and pick it up in the morning. Catch that. Park the tractor. Getting too dark to see stuff, so all right. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you like, subscribe for notifications and like everything. And I will see you next time. Laters.